All right, what's happening, people? I thought I'd show you guys where I'm at with this. I've got the frets all leveled. I'm in the process of crowning them. I want to share the crowning technique that I use here and just show you guys what I'm looking for when I do it. But this is the fret wire that I'm working with here. This is stainless steel. I do like this a lot better than the brass nickel mix ones. They are softer, but they're, that makes them easier to work with, but that also makes them wear out faster. And because this guitar has a 0 fret, it's not something that I wanted to use on this because I don't want to have to pull that 0 fret out and have to replace it in 3 or 4 years. I just want to leave it in there and hopefully it'll never wear out. It is stainless steel, so it should be harder than the strings. So I should never have to replace that. Hopefully, we'll see. This is my first guitar I've ever made with a 0 fret. But these are like a medium fret. They're not like a medium jumbo or large, extra large jumbo. I know they got all different size. Different brands have different names of them. When you're choosing these, look at what one manufacturer calls medium versus what another manufacturer calls medium. You're going to see a big difference in that number there. So if you measure this guy in inches, they're 54 thousandths of an inch. So not much fatter than a set of light gauge strings, the E string. A little bit fatter than that E string, which is about what I like. I am heavy-handed when I play, so the lower my frets are, the less I sharpen the notes when I press them, which is why I prefer a smaller, lower profile fret. But because they're stainless steel, that makes them a lot more difficult to work with. So the tools I use, I got one of these blocks here. I got this on Amazon. This was pretty cheap. And these files that are set in this piece of plastic are very rough. So this is good for getting it close to where I want. I use this side of it more than anything. This puts the beveled on the edge, and I just kind of work it until I get them really close. And then I'll switch over to something like a rat tail file here that I can go per fret. And I'll use the blue tape. I'll run a long strip of blue tape along there and I'll file it until I take all the blue tape off of the fret ends and until I just start to wear away the tape before I touch the binding on the side of the guitar. So I definitely use this guy here. Although it is a rough tool, I use this one a lot, and I like it because it's big. This does not have a safe edge on it, so I actually use all 4 sides of this. I do have some small files that have the safe edge, which I will use to dress or, to round these little corners over here, even though they're feeling pretty good. There's a couple of little snaggy spots that I gotta round over, but no big deal. The tool that I use the most for doing the crowning, I have this guy over here. This is like an Amazon cheapy fret crowning tool. I think this is 12 or 15 bucks, I don't know. But it's not that great. But it does have 3 sizes on it. If you're doing a softer metal frets, there's nothing wrong with this tool at all. It'll work just great. But because these are stainless steel, I got to use the better tool here. This has only got 2 different sizes on it, and those 2 sizes are really important that they fit the fret. So as you can see, I have done all the frets down to here. I'm on this guy right here. You can see it's still red. In fact, I'm going to re-ink that so that you can see what I'm talking about when I talk about crowning the frets. Make sure I got the right fret in the frame there, the one I'm working on. I do. And I'm going to do this real quick. well, as quick as I can with them being stainless steel. And then I'm going to zoom the camera in to show you what I'm talking about here. And a couple things that I do here. I go by how this feels. I, of course, go by how it looks, which is the point of having the red ink. I also go by how it sounds. You guys will hear a difference in the way that it sounds when I get to where I'm going. Maybe I'll speed the video up for this part here if I can figure out how to do that. Okay. So here's a problem. You can see the red. I don't know if you can see it or not. Look right there. I'm already taking the red off, and I haven't even touched the rest of the fret yet. I haven't put any kind of crown on that yet. That's telling me that that small side of the file is too small. I'm just bottoming out and I'm taking all the ink off. What you want to do is you want to be focused on the ink that's on this side and on this side of the fret, because ultimately you want to leave a little tiny bit of red ink right across the top there. Show you what I'm talking about. Now that we saw that, that'll help you determine what size fret file you need to be using on this job. So another thing is if you find your tool is slipping off of it, it's not the right size for it. So you always want to make sure that it's got a good bite on that fret and then it's self-centering. Hear that zip zip noise like a saw? And here you don't hear it here. You don't hear it here. You hear it a little bit here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom in on that fret. Yeah, watch me zoom in. So here's my zoom. Okay, so... Okay. See this right here. It's still got a wide flat part on it here versus right here. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this very thin section of unfiled fret. That means I filed this side and I filed the other side. So what I want to do is I want to create that ridge all the way down. So it looks like I'm good all the way to right about here. And then the fret widens out. That means I got to focus a little more attention on this side of the fret than on this side of the fret, because this side of the fret is done. This fret tool right here also does a good job of getting these rounded over edges of the fret cleaned up. Like that's already, I probably won't even touch that again with a file. It feels really good. When I run my finger across it any direction, I don't feel any snags or anything. And that's because of the way that this file runs out. See how it runs out a file right there at the end? So as you pull that run out across that edge, it really makes these ends really, really nice here. So got a little bit more work to do on that one. And it'll be done. And almost. And I think that's going to be good. I'll take the rest of it with some 600 grit sandpaper to get rid of those scratches, and then I'll go to 1000 grit and 1500 grit. I'll show you guys what it looks like, since it's now done. All right, so you see that thin little untouched ridge right there? It's exactly what I'm looking for on every single fret. Stainless steel, no fun, but you know, I'll never have to do it again on this guitar. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Follow up. We'll see what's next. We'll talk to you soon.